My name is Carmen Davenport, founder of Black Dollar Indie, and you have tuned in to Get the Bag, Business Assets and Gains, when we talk to local businesses around the city about their journey, about their successes and some challenges. Today, we have with us Bianca Harris, owner
Hey,
and
girl.
therapist of the Phoenix Nicholas Center.
Yes, ma'am.
I got that right.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I want to start out by asking you who Bianca is. We always talk about the product, the person behind
Correct.
the product or service. Who is Bianca?
Bianca is fantastic. She
Oh.
is a good time. She is a joy to be around. um, no, so I am. I mean, all that is true, but I am a licensed mental health therapist. And so I have had a drive and passion to help people really since I've been born. I just didn't know what that looked like until I got
Mm.
into school. And I was like, oh, it's called therapy.
Mm.
I've been in kind of this field of wanting to help people for a long time. And so I like to bridge the things that I love the most and make them all come together. So, what is that, you ask? I
I
love a
am.
good song, I love a good plan, and I love a good black man.
Oh,
Okay, baby.
well. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's the Trinity.
that
That is the
the
Trinity.
Holy Trinity.
That is
That's
the
why
Holy
God started
Trinity.
with them first. He knew what he was
Yeah,
doing. He
that's
said,
right.
"Let me give you this good energy." Period. So what that kind of translates to is Phoenix is actually a 6-year-old business. We just hit our 6 years in
Okay.
September.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
But we focus on giving quality mental health services
Hmm.
to the community and individuals, specifically in the Black community, because we are often left out of those
Yeah.
conversations. We are often kind of pigeonholed and overdiagnosed when it comes to traditional mental health systems. And I'm not saying that traditional mental health systems are all bad, but they have not historically been curated to address kind of the innate traumas and hurts that we as Black people come into every situation carrying.
Hmm.
And so what my focus kind of has been, I've been a therapist for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been in the game for a minute, been
20
all over the
years.
place.
You don't even look 25.
Amen. Period of faith. No, I appreciate it. I started my career at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. It's a level 4 um, prison down in Carlisle, Indiana. And one of the things, favorite job to date, I will say. And what I love most about it is that it was such a ripe opportunity for healing and growth. Unfortunately, I was dealing with those who are already in the carceral system.
Right.
But the stories were the same. It was continued stories about trauma, anxiety, and depression came up in various different ways. And what I learned is that how we traditionally talk about PTSD,
Hmm.
post-traumatic stress
Hmm.
disorder, does not look the same when we're talking about specifically with Black people, right? Because our trauma is so innate, we have adaptations and coping skills and mechanisms that we think are helping us to survive, but they're really survival techniques that we have learned because of the trauma. And so
Mm.
what happens is that gets criminalized and we don't understand it and we lash out on it. And so in my kind of travels, I was like, we got to figure out how to get in and start talking about trauma and how that impacts us in real time and having real raw conversations. And I couldn't find that in the mental health field. So I said, I'm gonna create my own.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know?
So, do you find it? Because I want to really talk about
Mm-hmm.
trauma and really just being open to therapy in general.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that you struggle more with getting men
Mm.
to talk about to even go back? You know, a
Right.
lot of times, like I don't even want to go back there.
Yeah. Men are my most consistent group. They are my
Really?
most open group. I have always had the most success with Black men specifically.
Wow.
My longest run, I told you I've been a therapist for 20
Mm-hmm.
years, and my longest running client ever is 9 years as the Black man. Yeah,
Wow.
and when I say they don't miss sessions. They're showing up, they're talking, And what I'm learning is it's not that Black men don't want to go to therapy. It's Black men need to feel safe. And if they don't feel safe, they're not going to open. They're not going to talk. I don't care what you say, what you do. You can say what you want to, but if they don't feel safe in your space, there's nothing that you can do to get them to open up. Now, once they get to that place, it's a very delicate balance in understanding that just because you now feel safe with me doesn't mean I can ask you any question and expect you to say anything that I
Gotcha.
want to.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
What we have to cultivate is the conversation and the vocabulary around safety language. Right? One of the things that I've learned in my journey is that Black people, we are emotional first. We're going to connect. We're going to check the vibe first before. That's why we ask who coming to the cookout, right? Who made the
Who made
potato
it?
salad,
Who made it? That's
right?
right.
Because there is real energy exchange, and that's what we have to discover. We can't just keep calling it vibes. We have to call it dysregulation, vulnerability, shame, excitement, elation. We have to call it what it
What it
is.
is.
And so that's what I feel like I bring is I help increase emotional vocabulary so that people can heal themselves.
So, so we're talking about individual therapy. You do couples counseling?
I do.
Because I'm hearing,
Temporarily.
right? Safety is always this word that floats around, even in marriages that are
Right.
broken or breaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those things that you mentioned are key
Yeah. Right.
to mending those relationships, not even just with a spouse, but with kids and different things like that. So you do family therapy.
So I do it all, but the key is before we talk about the family, we have to talk about the individual, right?
Okay.
Matthew 22 says that the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God above all else and love your neighbor as you love yourself. I can't treat anybody better than I'm treating myself.
That's right.
And so we don't often do that. So when we get into talking about marriages and families, when we're talking about not feeling safe, what we're really talking about is I don't feel heard and validated. And so we don't actually know what that looks like because chances are we've gotten together because we have commonalities, but haven't learned how to have communicative conversation that is actually impactful. So I have to be able to know how you talk when you're happy, when you're excited, when you're mad, when you're angry, when you're confused, when you're stressed, when you're worried. I have to be able to see all that and understand how you respond. You have to be able to see that with me. And we have to have a conversation about how do we meet in the middle. And so when we're talking about safety, and I have like couples coming in for coming in for counseling, and it's this, I hear the same types of things, it's not listening, you don't get it, we're doing this, and we have all of these activities. And what we're really saying is I am emotionally distressed and I need to help to regulate.
Wow.
But if we don't have that language, we can't say that. So we're arguing over facts and things that can be proven, trying to express an emotional impact that we're having. So, yeah. Yeah.
You're getting me excited. You are
Because therapy is cool.
You're getting me excited. I actually love therapy.
Yes, it's a good time.
I got kicked out of therapy, but no, I did.
Well,
I didn't. But so how do you? We're talking about the traumas. We're talking about all the things, but how do you, for somebody, let's say we're having a conversation and I'm in therapy and I go, I don't even know where to start. How do you encourage? How do you get a person who struggles with describing how they feel or what's going on with them inside? How do you get them to communicate the right words to you so that you can even help them?
They don't have to communicate it to me. It doesn't matter what they communicate to me if long as they understand the system and the rhythm within themselves. So it's not that people don't know how they feel. It's I don't know the word yet to describe to you what I am feeling. So when we have an emotional response, what people don't realize is that it triggers the limbic system, which is in the middle part of our brain. So it's going to trigger our endorphins, which is our pleasure receptors, or it will trigger our pain receptors. So when people say you hurt my feelings, it triggers a central nervous system. So there is a visceral sensation. So words do hurt because I am physically triggered.
Yeah.
So when someone's coming in and saying, I don't know where to start, I ask the same question as I start every session I have in my career is, how are you doing? Good, fine, and okay is not an answer. If you don't know the word, we'll sit and look it up. The great thing is we got phones right now. We have all this technology and this AI. You say, I'm feeling sad. Look up synonyms for sad. What else is under there? And let's talk about it. You don't know what it is? Let's look up the definition. Because if you don't have the right language, I can't give you any, you can't give yourself any help. And I can't help guide you in that direction. It's like you going to the doctor and just say, hey, doc, it hurts. It hurts real bad. Well, what hurts? It hurts.
Right.
So now you're looking at my head when it's my hip. I don't have to tell you that it's my femoral artery. I can tell you my hip hurts in this space. But if I don't have the language for hip, I can't give you that information. And so people don't have emotional vocabulary. So that's what I get them to start with.
Okay. So what do you think? What has been the biggest challenge with, because you're primarily trying to do therapy in our community. What has been your biggest challenge thus far with just getting people to want to be in therapy or just in therapy, like breaking through?
It's interesting you use the word challenge because I don't know that I've had a challenge. And I'm not saying that in like there's not been hard times, but in my career as a therapist, one of the things that the prison taught me is that you walk into every session with every client as that person first. And so you're not a client coming to me because you have depression. You are Carmen coming to me. You're not, Carmen's not coming to me, guys.
I might after this.
You're coming to me and I need to know you as a person. I am not the expert on you. I am the expert on techniques.
Got you.
So I can't give you things without having a conversation. So it's about connection and conversation first. So when we say challenges, every client can be different, but the biggest challenge is really on that person. The second that they say, I'm ready to start this, it is my job to make sure that you feel safe in every environment that I am. And I can only get that by talking to you. Right? So you know what you want to talk about? Okay, tell me what's your favorite snack? How many plants you got at the house? What song you listening to right now? Like, tell me some things. I need to know these things about you.
Right.
And then as you start to feel comfortable, you'll start to let me know the things that you want me to know. All right?
Okay. All right, just general conversation. Just really getting to know the person for who they are.
I mean, you want your therapist, anybody who goes into therapy, you want your therapist to be able to be an emotional extension of you. And what I mean by that is you want to be able to feel comfortable enough with that person. Like you going and talking to your homegirl, your homeboy, right? Not like you're not friends with your therapist, but you go and have that energy so that I can feel open enough to talk to you about these things that I may not talk about over here because your therapist is listening with compassion, but also with opportunity. Have you considered looking at it from this way? Have you considered looking at it from this way? That's what you want, but you got to be honest and have that connection. If you don't feel the connection with that person, that's fine. You find a new one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is like, how do I know that I've gotten a great therapist? How do I select a therapist? How do I know that therapist is for me?
So I tell people to try them out all the time, right? Try out your therapist, look them up, right? What do they have the kind of same values? Do they look like you? Do they look like the person that you want to? You'll very rarely catch me in like business suit, right? You will more likely catch me looking casual because the vibe I'm going to come in a session with is very much this. This doesn't always fit with everybody. So you have to does this person physically look like somebody that I would want to talk to and tell my business to, right? And if it's not, I'm going to move on. Now, when you get into the session, I always recommend, even though virtual is such a great option, I always recommend face-to-face first, at least for the intake. Get a vibe for that person. Is this somebody that you actually want to talk to? Is this someone, because you know deep down that there are some things that you don't tell other people about. Could I feel like comfortable one day maybe talking to them? If not, then you try somebody else, right? It's no different than your stylist or your barber or your gynecologist, right? If you ain't comfortable, you ain't gonna go. Okay. So
Okay, I like
yeah.
that. Now, some people think therapy means there's something wrong with me. And I think that sometimes that I don't know that there's a fear, but there's nothing wrong with me, so I'm not going. But what do you say to change that train of thought? Like, if I go to therapy, like, ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right.
I hear that a lot.
All the time.
There's nothing wrong
Especially,
with me.
there's
you
not.
go if you want to go. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
There's not. And there's not at all. And I don't try to, the thing is I don't try to change that mentality because that says you're not ready. I'm not going to force you to be in a place, even though I know therapy works. If you don't think that there is anything wrong, getting you and conning you to come see me is not going to be beneficial because you're not going to tell me the truth. We're not going to work on anything. I have people, family members, ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't need to see nobody. Okay, that's fine. But you on marriage number 4 and your kids don't talk to you, but that's fine.
Okay.
You don't, I'm not here to. I am.
No,
very
I love it.
too.
I thought to myself, I'm going to sit back and we really get ready to talk.
But that you have to be honest with. Therapy is about meeting you where you're at, right? And a lot of times people think it's about ushering you into some place that the therapist wants you to be. And I'm only here to meet you where you're at and help you to get to where you say you want to be. So if you say you want to be here, but you're going over here, I'll walk with you over here. Now, we ain't going to lie and act like you said you was going to be over here, but I will follow you there because I'm here to meet you where you're at, right? Not to make you be something that you don't want to be. So if you don't think that anything's wrong with you, then we can't do nothing.
So have you ever had a time where you knew somebody came in your office and you knew they weren't ready and you're like, you're not ready?
I tell them and I refer them out. Yeah.
Really?
Because I don't want to waste your time or your money because I am a very particular type of therapist. And the older I get, the more, one client called me confrontational. And I wear it kind of like a badge of honor, right? Especially if I know that you can. Like I am going to push and prod. And I tell people that up front. And so there are clients who've come in and I can kind of tell, I was like, I'm going to be a little too aggressive for you. You're going to need some, and I don't tell them that.
Right.
But I know it's like, you're going to need somebody who's a little softer than me and I'm not going to work. So I have somebody in mind, and say, and I'll tell them, I was like, I don't know if our styles will fit. Here's how I do sessions. I'll let you decide, but if that's not for you, I have someone else who would be really great.
So, yeah.
And a lot of times they're like, okay, great. And they'll call, another person, but I'm not going to, again, you have to have the right fit. I'm not the fit for everybody. Everybody's not the right fit for me.
So I want to talk about breakthroughs because I've always wondered this with therapy. Because some people, they'll go to therapy for, years and years. And what does that feel like or look like to you? Like, do you notice when somebody has actually had a breakthrough? Because sometimes they might not know.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But is that, what does that look like for you where you're like, you know what? That's it right there. This person has had a breakthrough.
It doesn't look like anything because nobody is the same. It feels like confirmation. Because breakthrough looks different. For one person, it could be working through sexual trauma.
Right.
For another person, it could be applying for a job. Right. It looks different for everybody because everybody's situation is different. But breakthrough looks like, as I experience it, is the client who comes in and I ask them how they're doing and they have their list of good feeling words.
Okay.
And they are able to articulate what happened in that time that we have been apart through emotional vocabulary language and not situational based.
Okay.
That's what breakthrough looks like for me on my end. Now the clients feel different, when they work through whatever it is that they're coming through. But when you have the vocabulary and you're using it regularly in your everyday language, that's the win. Okay. That's the win, or the breakthrough.
I think that's kind of dope that you feel that And then do you relay that back to them?
Oh, every time.
Like today, this
Every
today.
session. I end every session with "I'm proud of you," and I tell them what they did well in that session. Every session, every client. Because you have to hear that you're doing the work, especially if you're working on deep trauma work. I have to let you know that what you're doing in real time, these baby steps are leading to what that big breakthrough looks like for you. So every session, I tell them I'm proud of you and what you did well in that session.
You know
before
what?
we go out.
I just want you to know how dope you are.
I tell people I'm a good time.
I am definitely a vibe person, and from the time you walked in the door,
listen,
to this very moment, I just want you to know you are a dope person. And now I want you to talk to the people and tell them about your dope idea, your dope business, what you tell them where they can find you, all the things.
Nice. Well, hey, peoples. You can find us at the PhoenixNicholasCenter.com. That is going to be the kind of the central place to really kind of get an update on all events. 2026 is going to be a good year. One of the things that I didn't say is that we have a sub company, I call it my brother company, called Rest Black Man Rest, that focuses specifically on Black men's mental health wellness journey.
Okay.
And so we will be kicking off and launching those things. So the PhoenixNicholasCenter.com and RestBlackmanRest.com. We are also on Instagram and Facebook at the Phoenix Nicholas Center, and on Facebook and Instagram, and rest _Black man _ rest. I had to fight with Instagram about that. They fought me so bad. They did not. They wanted me to take black out of it. They wanted me to. Man, I got suspended. Yeah, it took me about 3 months to get the handle for Rest Black Man Rest. They said it was gang affiliated. They said I was spreading hate speech. I said, "Oh, I'm trying to heal black men, and you trying to come on."
Wow.
So yeah, RestBlackmanRest.com.
Rest Black Man Rest is officially.
We official out here.
Official. Well, I just have one last question for you. What's in your bag? What is your biggest asset or gain to date?
Ooh. That's a good question. Okay. All right. My biggest, you know what? I'll say my biggest asset to date is my son.
Ooh, okay.
So the Nicholas in Phoenix Nicholas is my son's middle name because I want therapy to be so common by the time he's my age that they're talking about like they're going to their doctor.
Wow. Okay.
And so I say that because my son, my biggest asset was I was having a hard time in business. Entrepreneurship is hard. And my son came to me one day and told me he was proud of me and he sees how hard I'm working.
And
Don't you have me crying? And he's 15.
Wow.
He's 15. Wow. So he's old enough to understand.
Yeah.
And he told me he was proud of me. And I was like, oh, you can't tell me nothing now. Can't nobody stop me now. Wow. Like, my baby's proud of me. Say less. So I would say that is my biggest asset because it keeps me motivated to do what I've been doing for a long time.
Okay. And I did say one question, but I'm going to ask you one more.
Fine.
If there was one thing you could talk to the people about, one word of encouragement that you could give people related to therapy, what would it be? Stretch,
get a good playlist, and get a plant. All three together.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity. Okay.
Well, thank you so. This has been an amazing time.
Thank you. It's been a good time.
I love having this conversation with you, and I'll probably come see you.
Listen, comes out to be a good time out here. We got some good things coming in 2026. Just planted playlists.
All right, 2026. Make sure you check them out. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, I'm Carmen Davenport with Black Dollar Indie, and you have tuned in to Get the Bag, Business Assets and Gains. Until next time,